Even though like I feel like me, I've always said, and I got this from someone else. I can't remember who it was, but they said I don't want to get it. I don't want to be right. I want to get it right, which means there are times where, like, if I'm wrong, I can be able to take it wrong, but I learn something from it, and then okay, I don't have to. Because if I'm using facts that or what I think is facts, and what I think is facts has been disproven, I don't want to use those facts no more because they have been debunked, they've been disproven, and you got sometimes you do got to change your mentality. Maybe you can't act this way and all that. So there's times where, like, if I'm wrong, I don't mind changing my mindset about it because like, I want to get it right. I don't want to just be right, but I'm not gonna rally you when I'm right. You can't tell me shit. Be right. Now, where's this really going? I feel like I'm looking at some of the I follow a lot of alpha male, like red pill ish, manosphere ish channels and all that. And the biggest thing that came up was Steve Harvey because there was a rumor that his wife was cheating on the bodyguard. And I think I talked about this a little bit on one of the 3-in-1 rants or some shit like that, but I never really expounded on it. If expounded is a word, if but I haven't really expanded on the situation, right? I just gave my little tidbits and then just went about my way. But now, like, with some days have gone by, you realize that it's fake news. That they're not. It was just about a disgruntled somebody on Steve's team that put out a tweet that was just like, "What's a comedian that's not funny?" And like Steve Harvey, obviously, and I don't know why people are surprised. There are people that runs, they have celebrity, that celebrities have people running their Twitter channels or their social media networks. I don't know why people don't understand that. Some people do. There's a couple people that do their own tweets. I feel like Glorilla does her own tweets, but you could tell like some shit is just professionally done, and it's done by people have a team. So even in the PR teams. So with that being said, you know I understand that not a lot of dudes rock with Steve Harvey, and in ways I get it because there are times that he does pander to women because majority of his audience are women, so he's going to pander to them a little bit. But I personally like Steve Harvey. I never read, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I never read "Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man," so I don't even know what's in it. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't think none of the people in the Manosphere knows what's really in it. I don't know who in the Manosphere has read "Act Like a Man, Think Like a Man." If they did, let me know what's in it. I would want to know because I feel like there'd be something that'd be interesting to read. And but since the talk of the divorce has been happening, since the talk of the divorce has been happening, you've seen people that just ready to just jump on Steve Harvey the same way they jumped on Derek Jackson, which in Derek Jackson's case I think is well deserved. But Steve Harvey, I feel like you can learn something from Steve Harvey. Even like because even in the Ask Steve, like you see the women in there and they have some shit that they have some stories about some crazy shit. And even Steve look at him like, huh? You stupid. Now I would play him now, which I would play him here, but I'm not trying to get all that copyright strike, especially when I go live. I don't want to do no copyright. If I get real afraid of the copyright thing, because YouTube will hit you up, whatever. I just got hit up for my last for the after party joint, and I gotta chop that up just so I can, put the episodes out, which is probably going to be all day with it. I I want to say like they was I felt like people was preying on his downfall. Like, they didn't want that relationship to last. Now me, maybe it's just the optimistic in me. Like I want because sometimes it's being logical, you kind of like being pessimistic and um the guy, my man from We Need to Talk. I don't know his name, but if you ever watch We Need to Talk, the guy that runs We Need to Talk, he said that man, sometimes men we have this pessimistic attitude, and sometimes I see that, and it's just like, oh, when someone gets married, oh, they're not gonna last. or she has she's a hoe with a whole background and hoes past, which you know there are marriages that I feel like people would just waiting to. I feel like there are marriages that are people who are just waiting to just divorce. One of them is Sierra and Russell Wilson. I feel like even though Russell Wilson's a good dude and because of Sierra, I feel like people are just waiting on that to just fall so they could be like, "Ha ha, I told you so." And the other one is Steve Harvey and his wife because it's just this one. It was just like, you fucking a bodyguard and all that other stuff, and it's just like, and then the way people was just kind of ranting on Steve Harvey. Tell even now when people still find out it's fake news, people are still trying to do like, oh, well, this could have happened, or the things that he should have said and all that other stuff. And people's like, how can you take advice from someone that's been married and divorced? And I'm like, but y'all praise Kevin Samuels, who I love, who I fucks with heavy. I fucks with Kevin Samuels, and that nigga was divorced twice. So and like Steve Harvey was divorced twice, and like this, and like I'm not counting people's marriages. I'm pretty sure this marriage has lasted longer than the first two combined. But nobody wants to say that. It was like, if anything, like I feel like he learned from his lessons, and then he's trying to, tell people what he learned. Because a lot of these things are just opinions. And do I look at him as a relationship guru? No. But I do feel like a lot of this stuff is his opinions, that it's just something that he just passes along by. I don't think just like whether now this is what I tell Buck all the time. If it sounds good to you, you take what you can from it and then just move along. Just move along. Some people I don't like as a person, or I just think they're goofy, like Fresh and Fit. And I just take, but even during the goofiness, Fresh and Fit have some stuff. So I just, excuse me, I just pick whatever I think is good and then like move the hell on. I said the same thing about Kevin Samuels, and like I said, who I fucks with heavy. There's some stuff about Donovan Sharp, which I'm 50-50 with because like I'm just 50-50 with him. But even things with Steve Harvey. There's some things I think Steve Harvey done said that I feel like I agree with, but then again, there's some stuff that Steve Harvey's like I fucking disagree with, especially like how things are in this era. I feel like a lot of things, especially older men, when they give advice from their era, because in their era that would. And like in our era, it doesn't really work like that. Now I understand there's some things that stay. Well, if all things change, some things stay the same. I get that, but I feel like the advice they give you is stuff that it will work in their time and not in ours. But just the one thing I would say this about the manosphere or the red pill and all that stuff. It's just like, why are we praying for these niggas' downfall just to prove them right? If anything, I feel like we should just take what we can, learn from it, and then move the fuck on. We don't have to agree with everything. Hell, you don't even have to like them. I'm not telling you to like. I'm not telling anybody to like Steve Harvey, but he still has a. But his marriage is still going on. So obviously he's doing something right. And even then, which I don't sort of agree with, because I feel like if marriage is the end goal, and as men, we're going to do whatever we can to keep the marriage alive, because no one wants to really be in divorce. But I feel like sometimes our brothers, we kind of like hoping that some of these people get divorced, so then you can say, "Ha ha, it was this a gotcha," or you be the first to say, "I told you this shit wasn't going to last." It was like, you waited 10 years. You really waited 10 years to see this shit? Like, the nigga's been married. I don't know how long Steve and Marjorie's been married, but let's say, like, to me, it's just like, how does it look to you feel? You waited 10 years on this nigga's divorce to happen. And it's just like, is that really a W for you? I don't know, because it's the same way I said, okay, because women talk about, let's say, how women was getting on Marcus Houston because he married a 19-year-old. In my opinion is, okay, if their marriage goes 20 years, are you really going to, it's like, who wins this? Who wins it? He got 20 good years out of the woman. So obviously he got 20. I mean, like him being in the position he is, he got 20 good years out of him. You raised a whole child there. Like marriages, you go 20, 30 years, and you like if Steve Harvey's marriage goes like what 20, 30 years, and then all of a sudden they get divorced. Now, is that who's winning? It's just like who wins in that? Because you can't be like, haha, I told you so. The marriage went on 30 years. Like who like is that really a dub for you? Is like because they divorced after 30 years? You know, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking. It's just like nah, bro. That shit lasted 30 years. Most marriages don't even last 5. To me, if your marriage lasts 5 years, I feel like that's an accomplishment. If your marriage lasts 10 years, it's just like you got whatever you needed out of that marriage. And now if it goes 20 and beyond, God bless you. Because like I said, some of these people, like even as married people, they're still holding on to options and all that stuff. But yet you stuck together for at least 20 years, enough to raise a whole child. I feel like that's sort of an accomplishment in today's society. And like you and that right there, you can agree or disagree because like getting old is a goal. You want to like, and then people change. You know, sometimes like the reason why they get divorced, you be like, that's the reason. Like the shit with the shit with I think it's Tia. I think it's Tia. One of the Mauritians, and then like their husbands. It's just like all of a sudden they was cool. Next thing you know, they're getting divorced. It's just like, and we still don't really know why. All he knows is she just wants to do her. And I just, to me, it's just like, was he the problem or all the other stuff? It is just like because, like I said, we all know 80% of divorces are, are women. Y'all know the deal. 80% of the divorces are initiated. That's the word I'm looking for. Are initiated by women. So, like a man, we're more or less likely to stay. We're more or less likely to make it work, even if there is a bad chick. Because sometimes it's just like, nah, I got this wife, and we stay. I feel like that's the one flaw of the manosphere, red pill ish community. Because I know a lot of them don't really like it, but like it's the pessimist, like us being pessimistic, and I guess I'm just optimistic for no reason. But I'm like, but I always defend this. It's just like, oh, y'all know he's been divorced twice. Okay, so is Kevin Samuels, but he's been married to this woman for like God knows how long. So, um, that has to mean something. How long has Steve Harvey? There we go. How long has Steve Harvey been married? They've been married since 2007. Let's go to the calculators. 2023 minus 2007. They've been married for 16 years. I was saying 14, but 16 years. They've been married for 16 years. To me, like they're on it. God bless them. They've been married for 16 years. So if they get divorced after 16 years, is that really a "I told you so"? Is that really an "I told you so"? Steve Harvey's still out there making money, and to me, in my opinion, I don't think she. I understand like prenuptial agreements and all that other stuff, but I don't think she's going to divorce the nigga anyway because she's not going to do no better. She's not going. You're not going to do no better. I think even she knows that. It's like this man. This man will do anything. Steve said it. Said, "I kill for this woman. I will kill you for this woman." Like with no remorse. It's just like I think even she knows, like, yeah, I can have other niggas. You can probably have younger niggas that want to smash all that other stuff, but ain't nobody gonna take care of me the way Steve Harvey take care of me. So I don't think she's going to mess that up. So take that how you want it. But let me as I bottom line this as men, sometimes our pessimistic us our pessimist us being pessimistic, excuse me, us being pessimistic can really like fuck us over to the part where we're just looking to be right instead of just what, it works for them, let them be happy. I know people was just like, that's how they do things, but I feel like sometimes deep down, and from what I've been seeing for like majority of the red people and people try, people got to make content. I get that people got to make content, but it reminds me of the military when they say if you're wrong, stay wrong. It's just like, or it's just I don't want to prey on the motherfucker's downfall. Like even with someone like a Derek Jackson, you think I wanted to prey on that nigga downfall? No, or that nigga married. I haven't. Hell, we didn't even know that nigga was married half of the times until he cheated. But sometimes I don't want to. I don't want to be them dudes that prey on people's downfalls. Same thing with Russell Wilson. Like I want Russell Wilson to have a happy marriage, even though like Ciara gets on my fucking nerves sometimes the way she treats the nigga. I will admit that. I will admit that. Like Ciara gets on like. Russell Wilson treat that woman like gold, and Ciara just like, all right, whatever, nigga. Same thing with Will Smith and Jada Smith. It's just like I've been saying that before the whole August Alsina and keep a wife's name out your phone. Keep a wife's name out your mama. I saw the Kevin Hart special. That shit kind of like keep a wife's name out your mama. I've been saying the way Will Smith treats Jada, like she is the God's gift to create, God's gift like to creation, like God specifically delivered Jada. I say that all the time. It's just like the way Will Smith treats Jada is just like if God delivered her. I know I said God is great, God's greatest creation. Will Smith treats Jada like God's greatest creation. I've been saying this for as long as this channel's been up. And then when you see the way Jada treats fucking Will, it's just like you don't see the reciprocal. I've been saying that before the August Alsina, before all that other stuff. But yet I still want them to have the happiest of marriages. They've been married since the 90s. I still want them to be happy. As some people think that Will should get divorced. I'm like, they've been, and to me, is I get it. Maybe it's just the old school people. It's just like, just stick it out. Y'all done like had 2 kids together, and then they're successful in their ways. Just like, and this is how I even see it with this. It's just like I want Steve Harvey to be successful. I want him to have a successful marriage. I don't want to prey on his downfall on his marriages and all that other stuff. I feel like that's lame in a way. I'm not calling the manosphere lame, I'm not calling red people, but I feel like for those that kind of like prey on his downfall just to get yourself a gotcha moment, I told you moment, just to get some views and tell people like this is why black women can, like, I'm not for that. I love black love, and I always want black love to last forever. So I always cheer on those type of marriages. Obviously he married her for a reason. He saw that's the woman. So I just hope they stay together forever. And that's my thoughts about that. Let me know how y'all feel about that. Am I right? Am I wrong? Is there something I'm missing? Y'all let me know. Till then, my name is Oskino Fly, and I am out. Peace.